Hey everybody, welcome back to the EQN Sports Desk driven by Holiday Auto Group. I am Dru Stewart, and we're going to take you back out to the South Point Hotel and Casino for the CINCH Stallion Stakes, and all of this coverage once again brought to you by our friends at Ranch Fuel. And we cannot do a show without talking to my buddy Corey Cushing. We just can't do it. Doesn't happen. And so Corey, good morning. Thanks for putting your cowboy hat on and hanging out with me this morning.
You bet, buddy. You bet. Happy to be here. Thank you for having me.
Sure. So you and I have been sitting here talking off camera for about the last 10 minutes or so, and the show's going good. And this particular show, and why we're doing this morning, is to kind of highlight the changes and the opportunity. This show has completely turned around in the last couple of years, don't you think?
Oh, buddy, it made humongous jumps. We were talking earlier back in 24. I think first place paid 45,000, somewhere in there. Last year, this thing paid 115,000, and it's turning into life-changing money for some. And to where us as competitors really, we might stay an extra hour at the end of the day to make sure the horses are ready, or do a little extra down in the stalls, or whatever it might be, to give ourselves the best chance, because we all want to be part of it Saturday night.
Sure. And you were talking about that, like last year you got that check for 115,000, but this year it's 125, so it's growing. Mm-hmm. And one thing that even on down to 30th place in this deal, so just making the finals, you're getting a check for 5,000. So at least you're getting something.
Yeah.
Pretty dang good check for 30th.
Yeah, absolutely. It like I just said, it keeps us striving, it keeps us moving forward, and these horses deserve this. That they're not looked at anymore as just the horse that didn't cut, or the horse that didn't rein, or Flicka just needs a job. I mean, these horses are true athletes, and as well as all the competitors. We all know what we need to do. We all know that we're going to have to take chances and make sure that everything works out. So, to get yourself into that position and hopefully to keep it rising, everything's got to fall into place, and maybe a little luck.
Yeah, we always got to lean a little bit of luck plays into this game too, for sure, especially with the level of competition. And this, you and I have talked about this before. I've talked about it with a lot of the other guys up here too, the guys and gals. With the horsepower, with the level of horsepower coming where it is right now, it's instead of just like this show, you got a handful of good ones. You have no idea which one has an opportunity to win the show, and then you've got 6, 7, 8, 10, 30 other guys, however many, that also has a barn full of good ones. So
exactly.
This game and this horsepower just continues to evolve, and it's a great spot where we're in right now.
Yes, sir. Yeah, no, there's a lot of excitement, and everyone's been looking forward to this day for the past week, and we're all excited to be here, and good luck to all the competitors, and hopefully everyone has a great day.
Absolutely.
It'll just make it that much more exciting.
Absolutely. So talking a little bit, just kind of going down here through the stats a little bit. I know you've got that stats list right there with you too. So total payout is going to be an upwards of $1.6 million, with $1.3 million just in a limited aged event. And one thing that makes this show a little bit different, and we're seeing this more. This isn't a new thing, but we're seeing it more and more in the different disciplines, whether it be in the cow horse, cutters. Everybody's done it in the past, but right now these stallion incentive programs are getting huge, and that's what's driving this right now. 343 stallions are subscribed into this show right here, and this is the number that got me. 5,556 horses were nominated. That's how many offspring were nominated. That's a lot of horses.
Man, that just tells you that there's so many people watching this event grow. Everyone wants to be part of it. Everyone from the breeders to the owners. Whether you're a backyard breeder or a big-time breeder. I mean, you just don't get those numbers by talking to a few people. I mean, our association's growing every year, and anyone or any new face that comes into this say that this is the best event out there going right now, and I'm sure proud to be part of it.
Well, it's pretty dang neat, and that, like I said, those numbers that really kind of rocked me back, just thinking about all the numbers that we deal with even on the team roping side of things. 5,556 offspring nominated for this show. That's a lot when you have 5,500 horses in there. And then what's cool about the way this we're talking about the payout back to you guys, but the big question is, well, why do I want to nominate my stallion? Well, it's not just because you want to get your offspring in there and start getting some money on those stallions, but the money that you can win just at this show alone, you're going to pay $80,000 back to the stallion owners. Yeah. Not to mention, that they're getting the lifetime earnings on all of their get and everything, but $80,000 back to stallion owners is. That's a lot of money. That's mailbox money right there.
Well, yeah, and I mean, and again, it's another growth. It's grown 15% from what we paid out in 2025. So things are continuing to grow. We're seeing new stallions. I look at that list of the 343 stallions. These are horses I've never even heard about. Yeah. But if you pay attention to the draw, you're going to see not your standard stallion up there. All these studs that have got horses here have got a chance. Yeah. For the horses to continue to move forward and stuff.
Are you seeing that, Corey? Like I listened to a great podcast the other day that had Melanie on there from Solo and Danny Gentry and stuff on the rope horse side of it, and they're starting to do all that tracking right now. And over there, you're seeing there's a lot of, because we're so new on our side of the same, we're seeing, like the Hickory Holly times and those horses that were up there from the Riata. And you kind of, the last 2 years, not this year, or not in 2025, but the 2 years prior, you kind of saw the same 5-ish stallions up there at the top. In 2025, it changed a bunch. It changed a whole lot. It was kind of fun seeing a lot of the Pepsids in there. I mean, they're just pulling some names out there. The Once in a Blue Boons, Hickory Holly time, of course, a big one there. But then there was a whole bunch of others that were getting in there. Metallic's MVP, getting some money, one in there. Some of these newer stallions as well. Are you seeing that right now, too, where it's not just the same block? You kind of mentioned a little bit, but talk about with 343 studs, there's got to be some openings in there for some horses to get into these finals that maybe we've never heard of.
Yeah, just sitting here thinking, like I was saying earlier, I've been seeing it all week, and I'm not exactly sure where all those horses are sitting, but it's fun to see. Sure. The just not your normal, incredible with not saying anything bad about them, but the Rebels, the Metallic Cats. Sure. The horses that have been, producing and the stallions, I should say, and that are, you always see multiple offspring of theirs in the finals, but every now and then you'll see, Sarley out of Florida or whatever his name is.
Out of Oklahoma by trailer over there.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. So, it's fun to see that because it brings life in it. And even to the people that, maybe, can't afford these, higher breeding fees and stallion fees that, that all these horses have got a chance. They're all their own individuals. So you get them matched up with the right trainer and they got something to come here and really to compete for.
Sure. Well, it's an opportunity, and for all of us that kind of follow that bloodline a little bit. I mean, a lot of these new stallions that you see are a lot of times by the stallions on the same list too. So like your Rebels and your Metallic Cat. I mean, all of those
MVPs.
Yep. Yeah, exactly. What do you call, like our name brands, right?
Yeah,
we've been riding for a long time. And then this next crop of stallions, and then the next crop of stallions are coming in there, and it's dang sure cool to see all of this. We've talked about it in the past too. This is doing nothing but enhancing our mare power too.
Oh, definitely.
I mean, I think that's where we've seen an absolutely huge swing, especially in the world that I play in every day. That mare power deal is just taking such a huge swing where the whole industry is just really, really paying attention more now than ever.
Yes, sir. Yeah, no, I totally agree with you 100%. The mares are, they're they're the life, they're the world of
absolutely
what we're looking for, and whether it be a junior mare, maybe it's her first or second baby, or one that's been $1 million producer so far. I mean, you just you don't know. Everyone's got a chance, and everyone knows in our sport that, there's 3 different events. Anything can happen. As the old saying goes, it can all come down to the fence work, but everyone's geared up and ready for it. So
that's awesome. Well, I think we've got, speaking of getting geared up and being ready, we're going to go ahead and go backwards a little bit. Let's go ahead and watch your run from last year. This is $115,000. Let's talk about this horse right here.
My boy King. I missed him. Missing this year. He turned 6, and he's a 2-rein horse this year, and they are running the 2-rein class right here behind me. But just with the growth of this show, we had to take, being a part of the board, we had to take some classes out to make time for all of this growth. Mm-hmm. This horse right here, he's been special from day one. This run right here, I'll never forget. I mean, that horse was trying to be so good the whole time, and he was good in every single event. Just trying to make sure that, I place him in the right spots and, present the best picture I can. But, no, this horse has been a lot of fun, and looking forward to his bridal years too. So, anyway.
Man, what a great run. That was a great run, Corey. Yeah, it had to feel good. The old fist bump right there, huh?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Well, and we're watching just this one run, but what, maybe the person from the outside doesn't understand is, the past 2 weeks of preparation and hoping everything goes right. You got to get cut good, and the reining is super important. I mean, we ask these horses of so much, and for it to all keep coming together and keep building, such as that day did a year ago. Man, like I said, I mean, it's something that you'll never forget, and you're going to remember the moment when you were crowned the champion, but you're also going to remember all the, behind the scenes stuff, what was going on at the barn, and, what we do in preparation, what happened here, and how did we react, stuff like that goes through my head all the time. And so anyway, here we are, and looking forward to doing it all over again.
Well, you just hit on something that we often overlook when we have these conversations up here, and it kind of reminds. So I've got a couple 8-year-old boys here. We're playing baseball, right? Mm-hmm. And learning to lose is as much as part of any of these games that we play is winning's easy. Winning's the easy part, right? Not getting to the winner's circle is not easy.
Right.
That's not what I'm saying at all. But winning is easy because it's happy, it's joyous. It's
absolutely.
It's taking those losses. It's taking those ones on the chin, especially when you're right there, and learning to have that short memory and just go back to the batting cages or back to the pin and loping circles. I think a lot of these young competitors in there taste success a little bit and then maybe get fried a little bit just as a competitor because, boy, Corey, we talk about your wins. We talk about your millions of dollars that you've won by being one of the greatest in the NRCHA. And, there's a lot of money that slipped through your hands along the way, too.
Well, I'll just this will basically kind of sum it up. Here's the thing about winning. 90% of the time, you're going to feel like you're getting your guts kicked in, okay?
Yeah.
8% of the time, you're confused, you're frustrated, you're wondering if you're even in the right place. 2% of the time, you actually win. And those times come and go, and you're back into the 90 percentile again.
Thank you for that.
Yes,
Thank
sir.
you for that.
And then the more I think about it and being blessed to have the opportunities with all my great horses and being a $4 million rider, I think about that all the time. And if you were to add it all up and exactly what you just said, I treasure the wins and the moments. Mm-hmm. But what reigns even heavier is the opportunities I have on these other horses that things either didn't work out or it wasn't prepared the right way, and getting yourself put back together and come back and be ready for the next one.
Thank you, man. That right there is what makes you guys what you are. That's why. That's the consummate champion. I love that. I've never heard anybody put it like that. 98-2.
98-2. Remember that, buddy.
I'm stealing it. I'm stealing it. I love that. That is, every competitor out there say that same thing. I can't remember if it was you and I that were talking about it or who like talking about Trevor.
Yeah.
About having that short memory. It's about having that short memory.
Same with him. Yeah, he'll in his own way, it's going to end up being those same numbers there.
I bet you're 100% right. I love it. Well, Cush, I sure appreciate you, pal. Thanks for coming down and talking with me. And you know, we keep chatting about it. It's a common theme. The cow horse is in a good spot right now. You know, these numbers are up, and that's the biggest part that we want to get out to everybody that's watching this here today, is that the numbers are up. You know, we saw that big jump from 2024 to 2025, now to 2026. And maybe everybody's like, oh, I don't know if it can grow anymore. Well, when you're seeing, 16% and 20% growth again, I don't
just
think
a
we're
year
there
later.
Yet.
Yeah.
We're not there yet.
No, sir. And with all these new stallions and offspring, the new faces that it's bringing in too, a lot of new competitors. The level 1 and novice horse, maybe just those two classes, and bringing a horse here for those two. I want to say there was only 2 sets, maybe 20-something horses, but everyone else, they entered up in everything. Yeah. Novice horse, level 1, limited, intermediate, open. They want a chance at all this big money.
Absolutely.
So anyway, it's here and available for everyone.
It sure is. We kind of skipped right over it, but shoot, the non-pro pays $27,000.
Yes. Yeah. No. There's another growth there, and I mean the non-pros. I want to say there was 6 sets of those. They just got done yesterday, and they all did really good. And there's some new faces in there. Ashley Allen, she's a customer of mine, and I'm proud of her, and she's made it. So a shout out to her, and good job. And all the other ones that I'm probably forgetting about, but no different for them. I mean, they better have their game face on come Saturday afternoon, and it'll be a show, because there's a lot of great non-pros. That we're hoping just stay non-pros, because we don't need to be messing around with them. We're having a hard enough time with who's over here in the open.
You need more competition.
You don't need to cross over. Yeah, you got it.
Well, that's awesome, man. That's great, and I love that we continue to see this, and we keep talking about these great things. The industry is in a great spot, and it's led by a bunch of great guys like yourself. So thanks for what you're doing, pal. Really appreciate it. And for those of you young competitors out there, or even you seasoned competitors, that 90%, 8%, 2% might be the greatest thing I've heard in a long, long time, and it is so true. And that applies to business, that applies to sport,
your whole life.
It applies to life. 90% of the time, we're just trying to figure it out. Figure it out. I love it, man. Thank you so much for that. Well, Cush, man, I'm going to let you get out of here, and thanks for swinging by and talking to me, and really appreciate it. It's good seeing you this morning, pal.
Good seeing you, champ. Look forward to seeing you again.
Absolutely. We'll talk to you soon. Well, friends, we're going to continue to bring you coverage from the CINCH Stallion Stakes out in Las Vegas, the hotel, South Point Hotel and Equestrian Center. And once again, great growth out there. $1.6 million total payout. The limited aged event side of things is going to pay $1.3 million. And I think we were talking about $734,000 in added money. So everything is up this year. The champion of the Derby is going to go home with $125,000. And that is a huge, huge payout. So congratulations to everybody at the NRCHA at the CINCH Stallion Stakes. It's going to be great. And we're going to continue bringing you more and more coverage from that show out in Las Vegas. On behalf of Ranch Fuel, I am Dru Stewart. And, of course, this is EQN Sports, all driven by Holiday Auto Group. We'll catch you in a little bit, everybody.